Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Another episode of the Detour. I'm your host Dan Jones, joined by a four-time national road champion from Australia whose Wi-Fi looks, substandard, but the audio's crisp. That's what we want. We want to hear from him because it's an audio platform as well. Of course, John Trevorrow.
Don't talk to me about audio.
Yes, there was a few iffy stories.
Very unhappy camper. Anyway.
There's an interview with Jai Hindley pre-stage that the audio didn't quite work. There was a problem with the microphone.
No, the microphone didn't work.
Just tell us the guts of what he said pre-start. Let's just hear it from you. What was Jai saying? Because obviously the big story, folks, if you're just tuning in and you don't know the results, spoiler alert, Jai Hindley was thereabouts and got time bonuses. So he edged out Carapaz on the finish line. The stage was won by Jan Hurt. We'll talk about that a bit later, but the story of the day was the GC battle, and he's limited the gap on GC from 7 seconds now to 3 seconds.
3 seconds, yes. Yeah, no, he was very confident this morning. He talked about, taking it on, and, he believes he can win this Giro. So, and I do too. So he's looking good. He looked really good. I mean, there was some great attacks today. It was the old Shark was back out there, nibbly having a
shark attack.
Shark attack. But Lander had a real attack up the last climb, and Jai attacked over the top of him. It was great to watch.
Let's have a look at the GC standings. You got Carapaz on top, obviously. Hindley 3 seconds behind. Almeida's 44 seconds off the pace, and Landa 59 seconds. The Shark, he's 3 minutes 40. He lost 40 seconds, almost a minute. But it's really between those top four. You'd think Iffy coming in with only a handful of stages to go.
Well, it's more than a handful, mate. We only just started the bloody final week, and they've got five monster stages. Hang
on. One of them on stage 18 is. I mean, that's not a monster stage.
No,
you've obviously got the time trial on the last day. Yeah. So you've only got 3 monster stages. So you've got 17 monster.
Yep.
You got 19 monster and 20 filthy.
Yeah. Okay.
2 monsters in a field.
It's far up. But look, you're right. You had I think those four are the main ones. Nibbly, I think he winning a Grand Tour is past him now, but it's great to watch him race as always. He had another bash again today. Those four are the only ones within a minute. Fifth is Nibbly at 3 minutes 40. So, whereas the top four are all within that. It's important that they get a bit more time on Almeida because they started the time trial tomorrow. Almeida would probably win the Tour because he would probably beat Jai and Carapaz by a minute in that final time trial. You would think because
so they need to put more time on Almeida in these 2 monsters and a filth.
Well, the filth on the last day is going to, there's no hiding by the time they get to that. Look at that. For those listening to the podcast, look at that. You've got 3 big climbs. The last one being really steep after the Marmalada, which you can talk about. Marmalade. Well, the Marmalada is not so sweet, I can tell you, and quite steep. So, and after going over a Cat 1 and a whatever they call it above Cat 1. I
love the research for this show. Well, we know horse category for the Tour de France, but the Giro, it's like, it's above a Cat 1. It's tough.
It's C. It's C. I don't know what the C stands for.
Cactus.
Cactus, that'll do. But it's, that's going to be a monster. So I agree with you, Dan. It'll be out of those 4. Let's just see what the time gaps are going to be. But impressed with Jai, and I'm going to talk to him tomorrow morning and make sure the microphone's working properly. I'm so disappointed. It was a great interview, actually. Anyway.
Yeah, but you summarised it.
Way.
His confidence going to take it to him. That's it.
Yeah.
Move on. But just on Jan Hurt, as we said, Intermarché had gourmet success early in the Giro. They are up and about, and this isn't a world tour team as such. And
it is. They are actually a world tour team. Actually, yes.
Are they?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, well, there you go. The research on this show again is fantastic. I thought they were outside.
No. That was a couple of years ago. They become world tour, and now they're riding like a world tour team. Well, Jan Hurt is a great story because he's Czech, and he's been around for quite a while. And this is his first ever Grand Tour stage win. He ran second in a Giro stage, which had the Mortarola in it, a really wet one a few years back, and he was just sort of pipped on the post sort of thing. So, and this is his biggest ever victory. So, a beautiful win. I thought the way it was panning out, because there was a big break that went. Yeah, it's Simon Yates in the break. He made a little bit of a mistake. He was down the back doing something when it split. Thought it would come back together. It never did. And then gradually, the big break of 20 odd ended up being half a dozen off the front. Good bike riders. Valverde was in there, and then this Timon Arensman, the young Dutchman. I thought he was going to win. He actually broke it up, rode away, but Jan Hurt just came back, and he put Timon in the Hurt basket himself. And it was a really great little finale with them. It was only about 5 or 6 seconds between it and finish. So it was great finale. And then the big players came in just behind. So Jai Hindley winning the sprint in for third by a 15th.
Okay. For those non-Aussie viewers, that's a very common saying here in Australia. We don't use it that much anymore, though. But the question is with the relegation and all the talk about the points and all this sort of stuff, remember the old days where they say, you finish top 10 on a GC, top 5, okay, well done. Does it mean more now? Because Jan Hurt's obviously moved into the top 10. He's 9th on GC. Is that still mean something among the cycling fraternity?
It does, no doubt. You finish top 10 in the Grand Tour, that's, a high on your Palmars. Not so much for guys who have been placing in Grand Tours over the time. They would rather either be on the podium or be winning stages. They really don't care. I can tell you now, Jai couldn't give a rat's about if he finishes 10th. And he doesn't really care that much about finishing second either. He said that. He wants the pink. Finally, he'd already started the last day in pink. Well, he'd like to finish the last day in pink.
It's like he's come into this Giro and he's done 3 months of sports psychology, because their mindset is they're not intimidated. He's obviously fired up, and they're just taking it to Ineos.
Oh, they are, yeah, for sure. Ineos were better today. They had him Carapaz fully protected for most of the day. Richie got nervous. Richie had a wheel change right at the wrong time and had a long chase to get back on, but he got back, and they were very strong around him. But in the end, neither of them had any teammates with them in the finale.
Karen Jones live. Thanks for joining in, Karen. Great ride from Hamilton in the break.
Yes, very true, Karen. And I bumped into a friend of Karen's today. We stopped for a quick coffee, and suddenly a whole stack of them jumped out, and we got surrounded by friends of Karen Jones.
Yeah, I think she sent me a photo of that that I should have put into the show. But anyway, in the good news for the listeners, the microphone did work pre-start. So we've got an interview with Bike Exchange, Jaco Diaz, Matt White, and Michael Hepburn to kick things off, and then a big one after that.
Okay, so here we are, the start of the final week of the Giro d'Italia, which is a monster week. Matty, what do you got in store?
Well, it's a big week, all right, and when you come in with the mindset of trying to win the Giro, we had this is where the Giro really starts. Now, our goals are different, so we're in a different position how we approach the race. And today's a mega day. It's a really, really heavy day, and the weather is forecast as a chance of thunderstorm in the afternoon, which will totally change the landscape if it does rain. Beautiful blue skies at the moment, but as we know in the high mountains, and it can change very, very quickly, which will have a big effect on the race because, we have very technical descents today. In the dry, they're sure to get through safely. And if it rains today, I'm sure someone will make some mistakes, and the Giro can be lost today.
Now, the Mortorola, which is a famous climb, it's sort of got the word death in there, so it scares people. But normally we climb it the other way. We've got the technical descent this time. Yeah,
so this is the easier side up, if there is an easier side up this beast of a climb. But the descent is most people know as the climb. So very, very steep corners, lots and lots of hairpins. And like I said before, if it rains, it will change the landscape.
So what do you think will happen in the GC race today?
It's hard to tell because people bounce out of rest days so different. And then if we do get a weather change from 25 to 30 degrees, it's been one of the hottest Giros in the last 20 years. If it does rain, at that height, it could be 12 degrees. So, temperature changes things. Like I said before, how people bounce out of the rest day. But I'm sure the GC landscape will be different by this afternoon, that's for sure. I have my crystal ball's not working that good this morning, but someone will lose out today and someone will benefit because it's a big day. Today and then Saturday are the two days where things can go wrong or very right.
And it's interesting to see how Bora Hansgrohe have sort of taken on Ineos as the power team in the lead up to this.
Well, what they've done is that they've ridden very smart. They've let Ineos do their thing. And they've found moments where they believe that they're vulnerable, and they've gone hard at them. And they did a very good job in Turin. And we'll see. I'm sure they've got something planned for today, but you've got to pick your moments because they're a good team, and they've got probably three consistent riders, so they have more depth in the final there against Ineos. But this Giro, it's very, very tight at the moment. But I can't remember having eight guys within 2 minutes with 6 days to go, but I'm sure it won't be like that in the next 48 hours.
Thanks, Whitey.
No worries, mate.
So, Michael Hepburn, you've had a rest day. How are you feeling, bud?
A little bit more rested than 2 days ago, but we're still 15 stages deep, so feeling it.
So, some people really enjoy a rest day and come out of it well. Others really struggle the day after a rest day. Which one do you fit into, mate?
I think it's hit and miss every single time. It's different. This stage of the Grand Tour, the body's so fatigued that you actually need to get out and do a bit of exercise on the rest day. I think, we do a few little efforts just to keep the body and the engine firing. If you just shut it down completely now, it's hard to come back from.
Now we're starting the final week, a monster week. Today is probably one of the toughest days of the whole Giro. Everyone looks at it differently. The climbers are getting excited. You're looking at survival, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot of mountains coming up. Obviously, I know I'm not going to be at the front of the race in the mountains, so I'll be trying to support the climbers, during the parts of the stages that I can, and then also on the flatter days and getting ready for the end of the week.
Now, you would have ridden the Mortorola a few times, but I don't think the way they're going. So we're going up what they call the easy way and down the very steep one.
Yeah, I've done this stage actually in 2017, this side of the Mortorola, when we went up then 2 times over Stelvio. It's a fair bit easier than the other side, but still a big mountain.
So good luck today, mate. And any surprises you think are going to happen on GC today?
I think Jai Hindley's looking really good for Australia at the moment. His Bora team's quite strong, and it's 5,000 metres of climbing, so I think it's one of those days that's going to add up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see some bigger gaps than we have seen so far.
Thanks, mate. Good luck today.
Ciao. Bye.
Great insights there from Heppy. He was bang on. Jai Hindley looking good. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Iffy did an interview with Sir Bradley Wiggins. So stay tuned.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Feel more in every moment. The all-new Lexus NX.
Great work again from our great mates, bikeexchange.com.au. You need anything bike related, you know where to go. And of course, Lexus of Blackburn. They're great supporters of cycling. There's your photo again. Ruby Roseman Gannon and Blake Quick at the Lexus of Blackburn Bay Crits earlier in the year. And of course, Jayco, Iffy. Where else would you go if you need anything caravan or camper van related? They're the industry leaders for a reason. Jayco.com.au, John. Are you there? Sorry, I muted your mic. Unmute your mic. Oh, no. You're frozen. So, John's gone, folks. I'm going to have to carry this one. His internet has carked it in Italy. It's always interesting when I'm left solo and a frozen John Trevorrow, but we keep surging on, and it's a great time now to show his interview he did with Bradley Wiggins before the start.
Okay, Bradley Wiggins, superstar, one of the great track and road riders of the past few generations, and Britain's first Tour de France winner. Of course, you're doing it very differently now on the back of a motorbike.
Yes, I love it. It's a real privilege to be in that position and still, be able to commentate and talk about the sport that I love, but be in the heart of it as well in the motorbike. It's a real privileged position to be, feel like it's as close to I'd be in the peloton without getting on a bike.
It's the addictive thing of cycling. We can't leave it. The old pros keep coming back, but it puts you right back into the heart of it. Yeah, and I've been retired long enough now, it's coming up to 6 years, to almost, you forget how hard it is. And there's always an element of you that, as you'll know, Iffy, that you sort of think some days when you get on the bike, maybe I could still do this. But when you're in the heart of it like that and seeing these guys climbing and just how thin they are and how dedicated they are at what they do, you soon realise that it's best left in the past, because it's a brutal sport, and I have a real appreciation for how hard the sport was that I did and loved. And I've the utmost respect for these guys and what they do, and I'd rather be on the back of the motorbike. Now, the sport's changed in that time since you've stopped, a lot since I've stopped. But what do you think of the fact there seems to be not that respect for in the peloton anymore? Yeah, they talk about it, and it always gets put down to respect. But I think I don't think it's anything to do with respect. I think there's a lot of camaraderie between the riders, even if they may not show it or not talk. It's very tribal amongst the teams. But I think everyone feels that they have an opportunity to win now, which ultimately is what cycling is about. If you have a number on your back, then you're entitled to try and win the bike race. So I don't think it's anything to do with respect. I think it's more a case that everyone feels, and as they should feel, that they have an opportunity to win without any sort of real hierarchy in the peloton where you get pushed to the back. And if you dare to try and win the bike race or attack, and the elder statesmen of the peloton don't like it, then there was a degree of getting shoved out in the past and maybe not getting a contract, or bullied and berated for it. But now, if you're the last man on GC, you feel like you can have a stage win. I think they can, and I think that's really a healthy thing for the sport. So your thoughts on this Giro? How it's going, what's going to happen today? Well, they talk about the last week, this week, and this stage in particular is going to be the brutal one. But when you think about the days we had up to the rest day, I mean, the one a few days ago when we were in Turin, I mean, that was one of the hardest stages I've ever seen and witnessed.
So, they talk about the severity of this last week, but I think the first 2 weeks have been pretty brutal already. Ciao, Mauro. Ciao. Great stay.
So I'm going to look forward to listening to your comments from the back of the bike as we drive along. So you're keeping us entertained.
Yeah, thank you, mate. All right, mate.
Bradley Wiggins, that's a great get, Iffy, and great that your Wi-Fi's back working and going through your phone.
Yes. Anyway, life in the fast lane.
But,
Life in the fast lane.
You did have a detour, as you said, up the climb. You had to do it twice.
Well, the Motorola, this is it, which is a mythical climb. And I meant to do a bit of background as to why, because the word mort, it means death. So there is a history with the Motorola of death. There's something about it. So I have to look that up for next time. But anyway, so we climbed up it, the so-called easy way. It wasn't bloody easy. So that's us going over the Motorola. And then we did our bottle feed a bit further on. And then a local gave me information, the quickest way to get to our hotel, to go back to the town we've been and go another way. And the GPS took us back over the Motorola the opposite way we'd just gone. So we climbed it twice today.
Nightmare.
Yeah, nightmare. Yeah. Vazzy is in charge of directions. Did a great job.
I like Vazzy. He always sends through live on the show like photos of the dessert. Just to really tease it. What do we got there? Some sort of strudel.
Well, I wouldn't know because I had to race up here and do this.
Oh, geez, it looks good. And there's the detour live in the background behind the strudel.
Yes, exactly. So I miss out. He has a bloody beautiful strudel. Now he's up here laying in the background and laughing.
And this was Karen Jones's photo with her mate before the start.
Lovely guy. I remember I met him at the Nationals. He was working for Karen at the National Titles. And they were just happened to be. We pulled in for a coffee and bang, there they were.
What cars are they running for Bike Exchange Jaco now?
Skodas. They're fantastic cars, actually. Yeah.
Oh, very good. All right, Iffy, so who's your predictions for the stage? We've got to get you back to that strudel, mate. We've got priorities here on the show. Stage 17.
Look, I think
the nasty ones, but it's not pure filth.
Yeah. Well, have a look at the start. The sprinters won't be able to sleep tonight. Look, they fire the gun and they
8.7 Ks.
Yeah. They're going to be in the hurt box straight away and hoping that the GC boys don't go on with it. But then you got a lot of it's a breakaway day. I reckon it's going to be one of those riders who can climb well but can get away in the break. But the way it's been raced, they'll be lucky to hold on. Like today, the break looked like it had it all shot to bits. Well, Yatesy actually will be a little bit angry that he stuffed up today. He had a big chance today and made a tactical mistake. He actually form's coming good, realised he buggered it, so he just sort of shut it down. I'll give Yatesy a big chance, actually. Big chance.
Yep. Any other interesting threads from on the ground at the race, Johnny?
Yeah, Pozzovivo managed to fall off again. He's got more scars on him than any biker I've ever seen. He managed to touch down and lost a little bit of time. He's still up there, though. I'm not sure. He's still top 10. So not bad for a bloke who didn't even have a contract not long ago. So he's a tough nut because he was stuck in that South African debacle when the team collapsed, like a lot of them. But yeah, he's an interesting cat. Just watching the sprinters just fight through this to get for that one last chance, in a couple of days' time.
Yeah, that's on stage 18. So they've got to get through tomorrow and then stage 18.
Yeah. And I'll try and get Cav tomorrow as well. I saw him today. I didn't realise Vaz was right next to me because he went past. He said, "Go, mate!" And if I'd realised Vaz was right there, I would have stopped him. But I turned around. Oh, there was Vazzy. It was too late. He was gone. But
Well, we've got another
try.
request. Free range. He says, Ciao, Iffy Cadell lives in Italy. Any chance of him making a special guest appearance?
Well, if he's at the race, I'll grab him for sure. But he lives in Italy, but I don't know if he turns up. I don't even know. He's been in Australia. I think he's gone back to Italy only in the last few weeks. So I think he is around. He'll probably be at the finale in Verona. But yeah.
Right. Good
We'll
stuff.
try.
All right. Well, it should
All
be a
right.
monster day tomorrow. You're going to have the microphone sorted. We'll get interviews guaranteed
Yep,
with
those-
Jai Hindley, all the big names. Who else do you want? Get over to Ineos, wind up Carapaz. Can you get one with Carapaz? Why not? Why don't you go for the race leader? Why don't you go the big
No, but
dogs
we'll-
from now to the finish?
We'll go. We'll get Richie. We're Australia. We're the Australian show, mate.
Yeah, but why don't you try for Richard? Just say.
Because he doesn't speak very much English.
Just go, hey, Dick, quick one for the detour. He'll be
Tricky
right.
Dicky.
Yeah.
Dicky knee.
Get Richie to translate for you. Do you reckon Sir Dave Brailsford will pop his head in for the final few days?
He might be there just for the last weekend. I've been messaging him. He was coming early, but something popped up. He couldn't get there. But if he turns up, we'll have a chat with him.
Okay, so tomorrow, folks, we've got a massive show because if he's guaranteeing that he's going to talk to Carapaz, Port, Jai Hindley, and who
As
else
per
can we get?
usual, you're talking bloody bullshit again.
Carapaz,
I will try to
Hindley, and Cavendish.
I'll try and get on a cab. Yes, that'd be good.
That's going to be the biggest step of the Giro so far because we guarantee it on this show because that's what Iffy and Vaz do. They just take down the big scalps. So you don't want to miss this, folks. And the audio is going to be crisp. It's going to be incredible. All right. Well, enjoy your sleep if you're going to need it. We need you, Cherry.
Well, I'm going to have to try and talk to Jai again because we had this wonderful interview with Jai, as we were just talking about. And
don't tell Jai that you lost the interview. You want to look professional. And just say, mate, we're getting great responses from your interviews.
He'll find out because, Stephanie, who the press officer,
she watches the detour.
Aussie girl, she loves the detour. She's a fan of the detour. So we'll be dobbed in already. She's probably watched it.
Oh, wow. That is the downside of being honest on this show. Can't get around
very
it.
good operator. Lovely young lady from Sydney.
Yep.
Speaks fluent German, and but she is an Aussie. Does a fantastic job. Does need a scooter. I've got to try and we'll have to do a fundraiser to get a scooter because she's having trouble getting between the bus and the stage presentations. It's tiring her out. So I've got to get her a scooter.
Would be good, yeah. YouTube.com/The Detour Podcast. Tell your mates, thanks for all the support. We'll be back again at 7 a.m. tomorrow with, as we said, biggest show of the year. No pressure. Get your sleep, Iffy. Rest up, Vaz. See you tomorrow, guys.